everybody, this is Robert People of People's Court. You're listening to People's Court now. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 33. How we treat our friends and families is small, quote unquote, small businesses we're talking about. Okay, thank you all for tuning in. Today is Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019. Okay, now we know major companies, okay, all the major companies that are out there and how we treat them. Okay, now let me ask you a question. I'm going to start off real simple with this one. Okay, let's say you go into Walmart, Target, Publix, Giant, HEB, Whole Foods, all around the region, there's all kinds of stores. I'm trying to think of all the supermarkets that can come to mind. But let's say wherever you go, major company, again, major businesses, let's say you go in there and you decide that you want to hold off on purchasing something. Okay. Or you get there and realize you don't have enough money to buy everything that you're looking to pick up. What do? Do you take any of these items up to the front to the cashier and tell them to just hold it for you? I don't mean hold it for you until you go grab something else. Sometimes people do that. They want the cashier, just hold this real quick and then I'll come right back. I'm talking about tell them just to sit it right there. Tell them sit it right there real quick behind whatever until I get paid. I mean, leave the store, get up, leave the store and come back like a week later and expect the cashier to sit there or keep the item where it is. Would you do that? Now, you might think, oh, well, that's silly. That's ridiculous. Nobody would do something crazy like that, right? Why would you do that? If you didn't have the money that you needed, you either don't go in or you just put the item back, correct? So my question now is, why do we have that attitude about our friends and families and the businesses that they're running? You have a friend or a family member, and you can say friend or family member. We're talking about, it doesn't have to be them. It could be just someone locally, someone on a smaller scale, somebody you just started following on social media, whatever the case, just as long as they're not major corporations, right? So this is what we do to them. Why is that? Why do we look at our friends and our families, startup businesses, if they are consultants for these other companies and they're selling these items on behalf of these companies? Why do we look at them any less or any differently than we would these major corporations? Now, I have my theories, of course. And the answer is because we look at them, we think lesser of them because they're not major companies and these major businesses. And that's not right. That is not right. Now, I commend people who decide that they want to go into business for themselves in some way. Basically, anything that takes away from the whole, not wanting to. I mean, these people, they decided to take a risk, to take a leap of faith because they're tired of the punching in and out. They're tired of the 9 to 5. They're tired of what comes with having to deal with, co-workers, bosses, whatever the case, right? So they said, you know what, rather than just continuing to be a robot and go to work every day and deal with this stuff, I'm going to try something different. I'm never mad at people like that because we need more of that. Rather than just complaining all the time, they want to do something different. Now, apparently everybody doesn't have that same mindset, but this happens a lot. This happens very often. You're trying to do something and you are, for example, you're selling whatever item, right? You're selling whatever item and you make it known to your friend, family member, social media buddy, whatever it is, or whoever they are. And you make it known to them that, yeah, I'm interested in whatever item. So that person, does whatever they need to do to prepare it. And here you come later saying, Either you say, well, just hold it for me because I'm not ready to buy it yet. Or they have to track you down. That's always fun, right? They have to track you down to find out, or 3 days, 4 days later, because you haven't paid them yet. This is how it usually goes. And if you're listening to this, I want to hear your comments as well. I want you all to go ahead and just leave me some comments and let me know what you think. If you're the person who's running the business, or if you happen to be the one who wants to come on here to confess that you're the person who does try to get over a little bit on the friend, that's okay. That's okay. If you can come clean about it, that's all good. But this whole notion of trying to get over on people because they're not major corporations, your friends, your family, because they're your friends and family too, that's another thing. The people we know the most, the people we're closest to, for some reason, we love to think that those are the ones we should try to get over on. And that's what you're doing. That's exactly what it is. Several years ago, Pastor said this in church I went to. Pastor said this. He said, very seldom, as adults especially, very seldom do we not know what we're supposed to do. Very seldom are we unclear on what right looks like. Most of the time, we just decide to do wrong because we don't feel like doing what's right. And we spend so much time finding ways to justify doing wrong. When you're riding down the street, you see a cop sitting on the side of the road. What do most of us do? We slide our foot off that accelerator, bring it over to the brake, right? As smoothly as we can, but everybody in the car feels that jerk, don't they? Yeah. I'm guilty of that too, so I'm not trying to. I do it too when I'm not even speeding. I do it. So, we're all guilty of this. But we know what we're doing. Why do we need to hit the brake if we are doing right? We know exactly the reason. If we did not know that speeding was wrong, we would just keep going. But we know exactly what we're supposed to do. And to tie it back to this, when you're trying to get over, that's what you're trying to do. You can make any excuse in the world that you want. You can try to come back, and here's some of the ones that I've heard with people's businesses that I've been close to. There's everything there. I don't want to pay right now, or can you hold it for me because I don't get paid until this time, and I don't have a whole lot of money. There's everything. The same stuff that, again, you don't go into these businesses and say that to them. Go ahead. You know what? If you do that, if you are willing to do that to one of your friends, go into one of these businesses, right? And tell them that. Just go one day and just say, you know what? Man, I don't feel like I don't have money for this ice cream. Can you just hold it up here for me real quick? I'll be back in September. I'll be back next week. Just keep it up here, though. They might look at you and be like, okay, yeah, sure. Before you get your tail out of that store, guess what? The ice cream is going to be sitting back in that freezer. But we have this mindset. We think lesser of our friends and our family. And we love to throw around the word support. Oh, well, support. I support everybody and all this. And we need to support local businesses and everything. And that's fine and well. And I also want to point this out. There's a lot of shady folks out there. Yeah, I understand that. A lot of shady people trying to do these businesses and everything. Now, don't use them as an excuse to try to get over. Because if they're shady like that, if you know enough that they are shady, you shouldn't be doing business with them anyway. If there's some part of them that you're not comfortable with, don't sit there and go ahead and do business with them. And then when they call you out on your stuff, you try to you reference the ones, the shady business practices, because that's not them. Because I've heard people say that too. Well, I got to be careful because, some of these people out here, these businesses, they be trying to scam you. So why are you doing business with this person if that's the excuse you're going to use once you get caught trying to get over? Right? So you know what you're doing. People aren't stupid. You know exactly what you're doing when you're trying to get over. Why is this our mindset? Go ahead and send your comments and let me hear what you got to say. I want to hear what you all think about it. Why do we do this? Why do we think lesser? You have, not everybody wants to go ahead and get into business for themselves or do something that just, that requires the work that it takes to run a business. And we know a lot of businesses aren't successful, but guess what? A lot of them are too. And when people have the right attitude, the right work ethic, and even if they work from home, right? They're not just chilling at the house. That's another thing I gotta address too. Is that people think that just because you're not getting up, punching in, and actually leaving your house to go to work, that you aren't working. That might be some of it too, right? That envy of, well, you ain't got to go to work, so whatever, you can go ahead and wait. Or I'll go ahead and do this because at least, you get to stay home and everything. All this is going on. Why? For that friend and that family member that we supposedly support. And we got that envy because they don't get up and go. People run businesses from their homes all the time. And I know quite a few people, to include my wife, who aren't even close to just sitting here and just chilling all day. They're getting up earlier than some of my friends who have these 9-to-5 jobs. And they're staying up working past the time everybody comes home. So just because you see that people are at the house, no. You think, I can't remember his name, Jeff Bezos for Amazon. I might be saying his name incorrectly, but the one from Amazon, you think he got to where he was today? Yeah, his company started in a basement in a garage somewhere, right? Some little side room. But you think he got there by sitting at the house and being like, whatever, I'm just going to chill. I'm going to work 2 hours every day and that's it? No. You don't get that kind of money and take over everything. He's shutting Toys R Us down. Man, when you could get Toys R Us shut down, you're doing something right. You know what I mean? So you think he's working 2 and 3 hours a day? No. He's putting in work. And a lot of the people running businesses for themselves, these smaller businesses, these consultants for these businesses, they're doing the same thing. So why are you treating them just because they're your friend, just because y'all grew up together, just because I just met them on social media, I'm not really that big of a thing. Why are you treating them differently? When you got friends and you got family members running businesses and everything, we should respect them. We should respect what they're doing. If we respect them enough to come to them for whatever product they are offering, we should respect them enough to adhere to their guidelines. If they have policies in place, respect those policies. That's why you want the same way you don't act a fool when you walk into Walmart, you shouldn't. You don't act stupid going into Target and everywhere else. That's what you do with your friends' businesses. And it's crazy how often some people just disregard everything because, hey, it's after all, you're not a major business. So doesn't matter. It does matter. Now, of course, for those of you running the businesses, and I'm sure you've already seen this, especially when you're dealing with the friends, the family members and the friends, you raise up on them and you say, hey, look, I'm trying to run a business here. So no, I'm not going to hold whatever it is that you want me to hold for you. I'm not going to do this way because I'm the one running this business. Now you're the bad person. Now you're the bad guy now. Bad guy or woman. You're the bad person because now you're tripping. Oh, you changed. And they give you all this, the whole sob story about how you were this way when you were young. Now it's this. You got to, y'all know what I'm talking about. You got to get all that in for what? Because you didn't do what they wanted. When you're running a business, you are in charge of that business. You do what you see fit, the same way all these other companies do it. And if you're that person who is going to do business with someone, we should respect them the same exact way as we do when we go anywhere else. It's the right thing to do. Don't look down on them or think they're easier to get over because they're just your friend or they are just whoever. I don't care if somebody is selling penny, I don't know, can't know, nobody has penny candy right now, but back in the day, I'm trying to show my age here, but back in the day, they used to be penny candy, I think. That's a little bit before me, though. But if you were selling that out of the trunk of your car or whatever the case was, they deserve the same respect as these major multi-billion-dollar corporations. Because guess what? How did those corporations that you love so much get to where they are? Not by letting people get over. Not by saying, oh, you're a family member, I'll go ahead and let you slide. No, they didn't get there by doing that. They got there by putting their foot down and saying, hey, look, this is the business. These are my rules. Follow them or go elsewhere. That's it. Now, I know it's hard. You want to, if you're just starting off, no, you're not going to be in this big hurry to put your friends down, kick your friends out and your family out and don't take, you won't accept their business. But eventually that's where you're going to have to end up, especially when it doesn't look like they're going to change. And all friends and family aren't bad. A lot of people do cooperate and everything, but sometimes you got to put your foot down and be like, this is how it is, the end. You don't like it, take your business elsewhere. But for the ones doing right and those who are, trying to give us something, if you are going to, and if it's not your thing, just move on. If it's not your thing, just move on. Don't. You got to put them down and make fun of them and all this. Just move on. I have a lot of friends selling things that I'm not interested in, but I don't need to put them down for it. I still respect their hustle. That's what it's about. You can respect the hustle and not, oh, that's not my thing. Then sit on family. See, people on social media kill me sometimes. I mean, they sit there and they put down every business out there just because it ain't theirs. Or because it's not something that they care about. I don't use Mary Kay, but do I got to sit there and every time I see somebody, man, I'm so tired of everybody, Mary Kay, and they're getting on my nerves and stop sending me this stuff. No, I'll just politely tell them, no, it's not for me. That's it. That's all you got to do. But come on, y'all. Let's be more respectful to our friends and family. Our friends, our family, our social media partners. Let's be a little more respectful to them and what they're trying to do. If you have a question, let them ask a question. Now, if it's on them. If they don't tell you, right? Hey, then that means they didn't tell you. That's on them. But if they let you know what their policy is, come at them the right way before you decide you're just going to violate it. Because again, there is people also get the sob story of how tough somebody's life is, and that's why they couldn't pay. Again, the same thing, you would not go to a major company and tell them. Because they're going to look at you like, okay, cool, that's nice, but where's the money? Or either give me the money or get out. Because your friends running those businesses and everything, they can still be their person. They can still be a person and give you, that sympathy that you need. But that's whoever the person, not whoever the business manager, the business owner, the person running the business. That's not, don't put the two together. Because when someone is running a business, they have a serious focus. When my wife is here working, she is working. She is working. Okay. So when they have something going, just make sure, like I said, again, just give them that respect. Give them the same respect you would give anybody else. When all else fails, just ask yourself, would I go to Walmart and do this? Would I go to Target and do this? Would I go to Burger King and do this? Don't ask me why Burger King came to mind just now. I just ate dinner. But would I go anywhere and do this? And if I wouldn't do it at those places, why would I do it here? Just think about that. And to close, I'll say this. That will solve so many problems if we did that, wouldn't it? That will solve so many problems. We get out here and we just do stuff rather than stopping and saying, you know what? If I wouldn't do it in this case, why am I doing it now? Just think about that. So again, thanks for listening to episode 33. This is Robert People. You listen to People's Core. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope y'all have a great 4th of July. Take care.